Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with jazz pianist Danny Fox. These days, he is at it again with 2018's The Great Nostalgist. This is his third album with the New York-based Danny Fox Trio, and it's another great one. It was recorded to tape in the living room of a 100-year-old house in the Catskills, capturing the band's uniquely personal, genre-defying original music in a very warm, intimate setting with no headphones, isolation booths, or overdubs. It's a great listen, like I said, so please get to know him, the band, and dig this interview, my friends.
So let's go ahead and dive right in here. Obviously, you have the new album, The Great Nostalgist, that's coming out tomorrow. But give me an idea, along with this album, what's been going on with activity lately with you?
The trio has been gearing up for this album coming out for a while. We recorded it 2 Junes ago, so we had it finished for a while. We've just kind of been patiently waiting to put it out. Yeah, I've been writing still new music that a lot that we haven't even gotten to yet. We're still forging ahead. It's a new era for our group, especially because our drummer doesn't live in New York anymore. So we've been not being able to play quite as often, but still managing to make it work and play mostly around town. We've been playing maybe like every month or two at a place in Brooklyn called Bar Lunatico, and working on new material, and that's kind of been what the trio's been doing recently. But excited for this album to come out.
How do you feel about the album? I got it. I listened to it immediately. I think it's your third album with the trio. It really shows an evolution of where you guys are going as a band. But how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I would say it's a continuation of the same kinds of things we've been working on for almost 10 years now. I don't know if I've looked at it or listened to it and said, oh, this is clearly our best thing that we've done, but I definitely am proud of it. I know the other guys are very proud of it. And yeah, so some tunes that we had been developing over a number of years, and then others that were more recent. We still kind of were using the same approaches, or just in terms of how we develop material and workshop and try and come up with interesting ways to present written material and mix in improvisation. And I think we did it pretty well on this. And also with the way we recorded it, which was we went up to the Catskills and recorded it all in one room with no headphones in this old, like 100-year-old house that my friend was engineering at. It's a studio called Old Soul Studios. That gave it another element too. There was an intimacy to the recording, less of a safety net in terms of our, we have a lot of different sections and notes in that make up these pieces, and we basically had to, we couldn't do very many things to tinker with it. It was really like what you hear is pretty much what we played. So that was a really good experience also.
Speaking of getting to that warm sound in a 100-year-old house, that has to be the backdrop and texture to the name The Great Nostalgia. Is that kind of accurate?
The title is, well, first of all, I struggled mightily to come up with a title for this one. Was drawing a blank for a long time. The time it really hit me was I was at my parents' house, my childhood home. Had to finally clean out my room after many years of just things gathering there, and finally had to just get rid of everything. My parents are renovating their apartment, so I had to get everything out, and I was kind of going through all these things from as far back as elementary school, and just going through old possessions and going through all my old cassette tapes that meticulously labeled, just so many details, which kids don't have they're not doing that these days. But it really was like bringing back. It's very cliche almost to say it, all the memories flooding back, but I was overcome by a nostalgia and just started to think about that word and what it evoked and what I felt about that in terms of our group and how it's changed over the years and what was it like when we started, and those kinds of themes. That's kind of how I came up with the name Yeah, I didn't actually think about that with the old house, but it does it does work.
It fits thematically, absolutely. So how excited are you to get out to really kick the promotion of this album off and perform it live? Are you pretty excited about doing that?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I feel like everything is it's an excuse to, any promotion is a way to get us out playing, sharing music with people, and that's the greatest thing for us, to be able to have an interaction with an audience and get to play together, and we're going to get to do that a lot coming up, which is exciting. And we unfortunately haven't gotten to play that much in recent, in the last year or so. So this is pretty exciting to get to do it. We're doing a CD release in New York on Monday, and then going to California for the first time, playing a bunch of shows back to back. So I'm excited for people to hear it and go out and play it for people.
So let me ask you this: in the name of this modern technology of Twitter and brevity and being powerful with a certain amount of words, if you had to convince somebody to come see your show and buy this new CD, what would you say to convince them to do so?
Free food, maybe.
There you go. I like it.
I'm not really sure what convinces people to come to hear us. I know it's probably different for different crowds and different kinds of music fans. I guess without having formed a short sentence, I think of telling people that the trio is hopefully a jazz piano trio that you wouldn't expect, or that defies the traditional expectations, which I feel like a lot of people have expected, especially with our name, which is a very kind of classic jazz group name, like name of person and number of people. They expect it to sound a certain way, and then they're maybe surprised that it sounds pretty different. So I know I didn't say that in too few words, but that would be the concept I'd be working from, I think.
Cool.
Or I'd consult the president, for his Twitter skills.
Yeah, there you go. But just don't use the same language. But yeah, that's perfect, man. Danny, thank you for taking a minute to talk about the new album, to catch up with you on what's going on. Good luck with going out to California and beyond, and hopefully we'll see you here in Kansas City.
I'd love to come to Kansas City. Yeah, thanks for having me on, Jeff.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to yet another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in New York, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Danny for his time and another album. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino on the iTunes Store. Visit neonjazz at youtube.com. And for everything Neon Jazz, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.